Hi students, I'm going to read aloud the ring-tailed lemur, and then I will help you focus on the questions so that you can answer your questions that go with this story. So the ring-tailed lemur. The ring-tailed lemur might be familiar to you. These animals are found only on the African island Madagascar and were featured in the Madagascar movie. Did you know these lemurs are one of the most closely protected endangered species? These lemurs get their name from their long, black and white striped tails. Lemurs use their hands and feet to swing through the trees, but unlike monkeys and other primates, they cannot grip tree branches with their tails. These lemurs spend more time on the ground than most other lemurs, mostly because they are looking for fruit, leaves, flowers, and tree bark to eat. You will know if a lemur is near because of the strong smell. These animals have powerful scents that they leave to mark their territory. Male lemurs will sometimes try to outstink each other. These lemurs live together in groups of up to 30 lemurs. These lemurs are called troops. You might be surprised to learn that the leader of the troop is usually a female. Lemurs are small. They weigh only about 5 pounds. They usually have one baby per year. When they are born, the babies weigh only 3 ounces, which is only about as much as a golf ball. The mother will carry the baby on her chest for the first 2 weeks, and then on her back until the baby is about 5 months old. Lemurs are very vocal, which means they make a lot of noise. They also communicate with scents. These lemurs have several calls to warn others in the troop of danger. They also travel with their tails in the air so that every member of the group can be seen. The main threat to lemurs is humans. Humans destroy lemur habitats. Okay, so go back through. Start looking for the main idea. We know from the other readings this week that one of our first questions is always, what is the main idea? And we can even look. What is the main, it's a little different. What is the main threat to ring-tailed lemurs? Okay, so that I know was at the end. So I'm skimming and scanning. So if I wasn't sure where it was, that's what I would do. I would start here and kind of skim over it quickly. Remember our reading skills. That's why we read it once, so we have an idea where that information is. So it says up here that it's endangered, but it doesn't tell us what causes it to be endangered. Okay, so I'm skimming and I get down here to the bottom and it's right there. This is an easier main idea or main question to answer than the other ones were. The main threat, and I'll underline for you, I'll help you annotate. The main threat to lemurs is humans. Humans, and then it tells you why, which is important. So humans don't necessarily go out and capture or kill lemurs, but they destroy lemur habitats. And if you know that if you destroy their habitats, then it's going to cause them to become extinct. So what is the main threat to ring-tailed lemurs? I'm going to try to write with this pen. Humans. Not very good at it. And you're going to finish this sentence. I'm just going to write humans, but make a complete sentence because humans by itself is not a complete answer or a complete thought. Humans, go back to your story, find what else it says. You could even copy exactly what it says. Humans are the main threat to lemurs. Okay, and then you could tell me because they destroy their habitat. What is the most important thing you learned about ring-tailed lemurs from the text? So, and this could be something that is more your opinion because it asks what is the most important thing. So it could be something like what is most interesting to you, but if it's the most important thing about ring-tailed lemurs, I would put that where they're found in the African island of Madagascar and how that's the only place they're found and how they are a protected endangered species. for me, I would say that would be the most important detail that I learned because it helps me to understand them. And then I would add that the main threat to lemurs is humans, because humans destroy their habitat. The other information is interesting when it describes what they look like and their smell, and how they live in groups, and how when it talks about their young. That's interesting, but it's not as important. Okay, next question. How are ring-tailed lemurs different from other primates? So I will help you annotate. So when I get your packets back, I want to see all of your reading annotated so that I know. You can even, just like we did with the other information, when you annotate to answer a question, like this was for question 1, what we annotated here, you could put Q1. If you haven't done so for others in the past, that's okay. Start with doing it now so that I know that you're hunting and searching and you know you're finding what you need to find. How are ring-tailed lemurs different from other primates? Let's go back. And it says that exactly in here. It explains how they're different. Let's see. Let's see. Lemurs use their hands and feet to swing through the trees. Here we go. But unlike monkeys and other primates, they can not grip tree branches with their tails. Okay, so that's going to be how they are different from other primates. That's the only example it gives us, so that's what we're going to use for number 3. Question 3. Question 4. Write one question you still have about ring-tailed lemurs. And this is going to be something you're going to have to come up with on your own, because I don't know what you're thinking. And it's not something we're going to find in our text. You could use something you found in your text and explain why it made you think about it, but it made you more curious. Remember, sometimes as we read and get more curious about things. So you could talk about how what their scent has to do, because they have such a strong scent. How is that important to their survival? Remember, every animal that's created is created with certain adaptations. How does their scent help them in more than one way, and more than just marking their territory? Does it help in other ways? That could be a good question. Or it could be something about their troops or their young. Maybe you could ask a question about their young, and once they get to a certain age, do they stay with them in their troop, or do they leave and find other troops? There's all kinds of questions you could come up with. So I'm curious to see what you're going to come up with. Okay, so that's our reading and annotating for today. Let me give you some directions on your writing. Okay, pet monkey. Do you think a monkey would be a good pet? Why or why not? So this is an opinion writing. So I expect a good opinion paragraph, a good strong sentence. I believe, or in my opinion, monkeys would make a great pet. Or, in my opinion, I think monkeys would not make a great pet. And then you're going to give me 2 to 3 reasons why they would not make a good pet. And then you could even start a second paragraph that explains maybe your first reason. So this is not going to be a full paper. If you want to write a really good full first paragraph with 5 to 8 sentences, that would be great. And then that would mean that you would have a few reasons rather than just 1 or 2. Okay, so you will get that, and I can't wait to see your writing. I'm hoping you guys are not being lazy writers. You guys are awesome writers. You've done great this year, so I'm really curious to see how your writing is going. Okay, so I'm going to just give you directions on your math, and then I'll check back in and help you think about it and solve the countdown word problem math. So let me give you some directions, and then I'll let you go. Okay, countdown 11 weeks. A baker has 8 boxes of muffins. Each box has 12 muffins in it. Write a multiplication sentence to show how many muffins the baker has. So we don't have a total yet. That's why we're doing a multiplication sentence. So draw it out if you need to. Draw 8 boxes of muffins, and then there's 12 in each box. Okay, so what's your multiplication sentence? Part B, how can you use doubles to solve this problem? Write a problem that decomposes 12 into 2 6s and then solve. Doubles, remember, is just adding groups up. So if you were looking at boxes of muffins and we had 8 boxes and there were 12 in each box, you could double the 12 to get 12 and 12, 24, and then 12 and 12, 24, and then 12 and 12, and 24, and add all that all up. So if you're going to decompose the 12 into groups of 6, you're not going to have 8 groups of 6. You're going to have twice that. You're going to have 16 groups of 6, and then double your 6s. Okay, so that's what it's asking you to do, is to decompose your problem. Write a problem that decomposes 12 into 2 6s and then solve. Number 2, circle the one that cannot be answered. For the others, write the answer. So can 8 times 0 be solved? Okay, so if it can, write the answer. If it cannot, circle it. Can 0 times 7 be solved? Can 0 divided by 11? Can 14 divided by 0? Think about those problems, and I will get back with you to help you solve those later. Number 3, a bricklayer has 30 bricks that he needs to lay for a patio. He can carry 5 bricks at a time. How many trips will he need to make? Put my computer in so we don't lose it. Okay, so we've got 30 bricks all together. That's our total. So start breaking that apart by 5 at a time. So if he has 30 and he makes 1 trip, then he's got 25. If he makes 2 trips, then he's got 20. So keep backtracking that until you figure out how many trips he needs to make. Number 4, a textbook company has 18 books. They want to divide them into 4 boxes that have the same number of books in them. Circle any of the following numbers that could represent the number of boxes the company could pack. So if he's got 18 books, so it doesn't tell you what he's going to divide them into. So think, how many different ways can 18 be divided? Can 18 be divided into 2 boxes that have the same number of books in them? If you can find that number, the number 2, and it works, circle it. Can 18 be divided into 3 equal boxes? Can it be divided into 4 equal boxes? So work that out and then circle the numbers that work. Number 5, a gym teacher wants to arrange his students into 5 rows of 6 students. Which array correctly models the seating chart? Now remember, rows go across this way. So it's got to be 5 rows, and then in each row there should be 6 students. So that's where you're counting down. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and then in each column there should be 6 students. You're going to circle the one that shows that. And then your math is just adding and subtracting 3-digit numbers. Now remember, pay attention to the sign first. Is it adding or subtracting? Once you get that in your brain, then start the process. Start in the ones column. So if you notice this first problem, it's subtraction. And I notice right away, I'm going to have to borrow. If I've got 3 jelly beans, I cannot take away 6. So I've got to borrow from my 9, make that an 8, regroup that 110 over here. So instead of 3, I've got 13. And then just keep going on. And I will help you solve a few of them that look tricky. And then I will collect it when the time is due, and I will check it. So I'll get back to you later today with the answers to your questions. Thanks, and I will talk to you later.